Rise and Grind socials need to like calm down because it doesn't work like that. I just feel like when people do get to the top, I feel like it's only fair if you are going to give advice, give realistic advice and the advantages you got. Like, not everyone's ever going to bump into that advantage that you had. Like, because if we was to do like an interview or whatever, and we're just like, oh yeah, to get to where we got to just work hard.
You have to be honest about your advantages. I know for a fact that my position, I can list. Okay, I know what advantages.
What's your advantages that you feel like you've had that's, you know, got you to where you got to?
I am. Okay, I would say definitely my upbringing in Surrey. I think I think it plays an advantage if we're having a very clear, open, honest conversation. I think to maybe mainstream, oh, she seems like she's got this well-spoken accent. I don't think I am. I mess up on words. I couldn't even say that country last week, so let's not go back there. But to maybe some people, it seems like, oh, you know, representation-wise in what kind of brand we want someone to represent our brand, she has kind of like that clean, well-spoken image, not so much like that. So I'd say that is an advantage that I can have to someone else that doesn't have, I guess, the way I speak without, do you know what I mean? Obviously, when I compare myself to some of my other friends, I'm lighter skinned compared to some of my other friends. So I have to understand that privilege, certain things that I could get compared to maybe you or one of my other friends. Like, it's obvious, it's evident. And even as a black girl, I've had situations where I've still, even as a black girl of my grade, I've still been at disadvantage. Like, there's so many disadvantages to even just being a lighter black girl or different complexion, but there is always a disadvantage in being black. But you have to, as a black person, you need to know your level of advantage as well. So I'd say obviously the fact that I say going to uni was an advantage for me because 100%. I had access to all the cameras from when I started YouTube videos. Something that people noticed in the beginning, I think it helped me grow, was the fact that the quality was good. I went to uni, I done media production. So when people ask me, how do you start? I started with good quality. I had access to use a camera. I didn't have to save up or do all the things. It was already there. So there are these little advantages that I feel like you have to just be able to be open and share about. Having Vamp from early was such an advantage for me. I had a team of 3 girls that were my friends, black females that understood how hard it is, our industry is anyways. So they were able to pave me into certain directions that people that didn't have management, that didn't have that direction, that didn't have that back support. Another advantage that I had was I actually went on a reality TV show called Survival of the Fittest. I can't lie, like every time I talk about it, I cringe.
She hates bringing it up, guys, and I never really know why, but
I never want to bring it up, but it was an advantage.
It was like a little push.
It was a little push. Like, I can agree, so I understand certain things that there were certain things I had to do after that I think allowed me to get in a better position. But let's be real, Survive the Fittest allowed me to get my verification tick. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't have had that verification tick that quickly without Survival of the Fittest, because once your name's like on the newspapers and stuff, it's easier for them to know who you are. So if any of you guys don't know, it was literally a reality TV show where it was boys against girls. They, you know, battle the sexes and the girls won. The end. But that was an advantage.
Came second.
Girls won, but I guess
you was a second girl.
I was a second girl, but so there's these little things, like there's pushes in life you get, and it's actually up to you what you take and what you I think it's up to you what you
do with the advantages.
But you have to acknowledge them. Like, without Survive the Fittest, I don't think my
followers as fast.
And I think you have to acknowledge it. And those are my advantages. I think there's probably more, but as we're talking, I'll probably think of them.
You actually have a lot though. I feel like I have like 2. So I feel like the first one is definitely my family. Like, I've had supportive family. So when I first started YouTube, I started it in uni, but my parents were never like, oh, is that not going to disrupt your degree? Like, they always just allowed me to just be me. So I never had like those stresses of like, oh, but I really want to do this, but let me just focus on my degree. So I don't feel like I had wasted time. Do you know what I mean? And then obviously when I finished my degree and then I was working for a bit and I just wasn't happy, and then I told my mum, oh, I'm leaving my work and I'm just going to focus on YouTube. She was still very supportive.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and I was able to stay at home. I wasn't paying bills. Do you know what I mean? So it's like I had all my energy to just focus and like create happy content that I wanted to do without like the pressure of like, oh my gosh, I need to prove it to my parents that this is something. Do you know what I mean? Because I feel like sometimes when you have that pressure and you have all that like negative energy, it can also affect what you're actually trying to put your passion in. And then obviously I had university. Going to university is always just a privilege, because especially for like us. So I had university. That's where I met my friends, who kind of we put money together to buy a good quality camera. So when I have people messaging me like, oh my god, I'm saving for a camera, like, you know, because everyone wants to start with good quality. And I think to be able to have like a group of friends to like put that money in together, if I didn't go uni, I wouldn't have had that. I didn't have to like save money aside to start this. So definitely some good privileges there. But you know, I had my advantages as well, being like, I feel like what you said, like obviously being a dark skin is always seen as it's always, because you just harder. Always have those what's it called, you know, when people like treat you differently. Oh, like for example, like, you know, when everyone was talking about the influencer pay gap. So an influencer with the same amount of followers as me and stuff can do an interview and be like, yeah, all you have to do is work hard. But then in the same breath, I have a higher engagement than you. I have you know, like more followers than you, but you're getting paid more. And the difference is because you fit the stereotype of, you know, what brands are looking for. If it's like blonde, white, blue eyes, and I don't have that. Therefore, you are gonna earn more money, you are gonna excel more, you are gonna get booked more, even though I may be working just as hard or even more.
BBC Sounds, music, radio, podcasts.